Hello, Angelo. Well, can't hear you. There we are. Can you hear me?
Hi, Jay.
How you doing, Angelo?
How was the cruise?
You know, it was a cruise. It was nice, but happy to be back on land.
How many of these are you going to have that you're already planning more evergreen stuff?
Well, I wanted to have the evergreen stuff in the can anyway. I think my schedule has one, two, three, four for the rest of the year.
All right, here's the thing. I don't think that we should be blowing the continuity of it. And once I am retired, I would be happy to continue to do it with Rhea. I do. I think we should, just as you did it without us, we should do it without you, so that we
Okay.
have a new one every.
I didn't want to put that
I'm
burden on you.
maybe podcasts are different, but I have no problem running it after I'm retired. I'll have plenty of time. So
Perfect.
I mean, I to do this thing you want to do here. It sounds like fun, but I think we should, whatever technology is required for me to get after I am retired, I'd be happy to take it on.
I very much appreciate that. That's great. So I'll walk you through it. I can come over if you'd like and show you what to do and set it all up
Yeah.
for you or give it to you.
After retirement.
You got it.
And that way, Rhea, I could keep working with Rhea, who I won't otherwise see at all. Hi,
Gotcha.
Rhea. We don't have her audio.
Yeah, I don't hear. Maybe she'll pop on. Don't hear you, Rhea. Just so you know why we're getting Rhea on the audio. I talked to NBC Sports Philadelphia because I have a buddy over there about hosting.
Yeah.
They said they were very interested until they heard it wasn't about sports, and then they said it doesn't fit with their program. So they suggested phillyvoice.com, and I am having a meeting with phillyvoice.com.
I have worked for them. That's
Oh, so they know you. Do you like them?
They know me very, very well. Yes.
Great.
It might fit there. Could fit there.
Yeah,
Whatever works.
I talked to them yesterday, and they were
Okay, now I gotcha.
oh, perfect. They were very
Okay.
interested and said they want to have a longer conversation with me today. So at 2:30, I'm having a conversation with them, and I will definitely give you guys the update on that. What I told them was I just wanted a distribution deal where we would sit on their website and people could just click on it, and that's how they would find it.
Well, I have a history with them. I left them. They didn't leave me. They wanted me to continue. It would fit. I would have no problem doing that. A connection. He wants to somehow connect us with Philly Voice.
Okay, great.
That's no problem, right?
Yeah.
And
No.
I told him that on the weeks that he's on future cruises, if they happen during retirement, I would happily take over the responsibility of doing them, just so I could continue to work with you.
I would love that.
Otherwise, I will never talk to you or see you again.
That's not true. I would love that. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
All right. You guys ready to get started?
Yes.
And welcome back. We're here on video again. It's Rhea. It's Angelo. How are you guys?
Hello.
We're rocking some glasses today.
People left out. I put on contacts for this podcast. I didn't get the glasses memo. You guys look studiously smart.
I never saw Rhea with those glasses out there.
No.
They're very cool. I like them.
My wife wore glasses for like 3 months when we first started dating. She got like a prescription, and I was like, "Oh, you got the sexy librarian look. Let's do it. I love it." And they disappeared. And I was like,
Really?
After like 5 or 6 months, I was like, "What happened to your glasses?" And she said, "I decided I didn't need them anymore." Which I don't think you.
Okay.
No. I don't think you could just say like my eyes are fine. I am back from the cruise, guys, and I just wanted to give you just a little update. My movie did sell to Lifetime, and we have a date.
Yay!
The tentative date, I appreciate it, is going to be May 19th, which is a Saturday. and we are super excited about it. So I'm in the process of doing. You want to talk about technological stuff? You have to upload everything to Lifetime for them to go out. Like, what a great thing they have. All they have to do is they have like a website. You just upload everything, and then it goes out on May 19th. But I am not very good at crossing T's and dotting I's, and I'm just like looking through reams and reams of stuff. So we're doing that now, but that's you'll don't feel any pressure to watch it. Rhea and Angelo, I know it's not exactly
No, we're not only going to watch it, we're going to review
Exactly.
probably slam it.
You know what? I totally get it. Once it's sold, I am happy with it. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it, guys. I watched the second I got back, there were two big reboots that happened. And I'm curious as to whether or not you watched the original shows and care at all about the reboots. They both dropped at the same time on Peacock and NBC. There is a brand new Night Court, an update of the late 80s, early 90s sitcom starring, I can never get her name right. It's the little girl, I say little girl, the tiny little woman from Big Bang Theory, not Penny, the cute little girl with the bangs. She's like 4'11". You could put her in your pocket if that's your kink. And then on Netflix, there's the reboot of that 70s show set 20 years later called That 90s Show. And I'm curious, first off, did you guys ever watch the originals, and do you have any interest at all in the reboot?
I watched Night Court in the original, really loved it. Loved it. Watched every episode. Loved Harry Anderson, the late great Harry Anderson. Marsha Wallace was a phenomenal bailiff. Marky Post had phenomenal breasts. He had Richard Mall, remember him?
Oh,
with the note, and John Larroquette. And I watched it and loved it. I did not watch the 70s show, and I can't give you much on the 90s show because I really never got to it. I don't know if you heard there's an NFC championship game in Philadelphia this week.
is that hockey? I think I heard Al talk about
that's football. That's football. But if you want my reaction to the new Night Court, it stinks. Really stinks. I mean, it is. First of all, the woman you're referring to, Melissa Rauch.
There it is.
She is the daughter of the Harry Anderson character. She is. They're trying to make her the same kind of character, but she can't pull it off. She can't be as he was goofy and schmaltzy at the same time, which is really hard to do. But he was great at it. This woman is bad. And they must have paid John Larroquette a lot of money because he was a phenomenon in the original, and he is a caricature in the new version. I hate it. I will never watch it. You told us that your 12-year-old really loved it. It is pitched for that level, that age category. Anything over 13, they're too sophisticated to enjoy the stupid humor in this reboot.
So one thing I would say just before I get your reaction, Rhea, is just talking about John Larroquette, and Harry Anderson. Two things about them. One, John Larroquette, do you remember he did something extraordinary in the mid 80s during that run on Night Court? He won 3 Emmys in a row for Best Supporting Actor in a sitcom, and he took himself out of the running for the 4th.
Wow!
Don't even nominate me. I want other people to win this. And a lot of people saw it as an arrogant move, like, I'm so good, I'm going to keep winning this. I never saw it as that, just because I like John Larroquette. He was just like, I've won enough, don't even submit me, let other people win, which I thought was pretty cool.
He should do that with this one.
No.
Secondly, the thing about Harry Anderson that you mentioned, in Quentin Tarantino's book that he wrote for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he talks about the sitcom and network system of the 70s, 80s, and 90s in TV that doesn't exist anymore, where you would get signed to a holding deal. And that holding deal would be like, let's try you out in different sitcoms to see how it goes. And if you remember, that was when I was a kid. That was when I first realized that stuff like this happened, because Harry Anderson was my favorite part of Cheers. Do you remember when he was on Cheers?
Oh, wow.
He was a magician, right? He was a
magician. Conman, Harry the Hat. He would come in and he would
You're right.
once or twice a season, he would con Sam, and it would be like a little cold open or something. And then when he showed up in Night Court, it was the first time I was like 11 or 12, and I went, I know that guy. He's Harry the Hat.
Yeah.
He must, NBC
Yeah.
must like that guy. Rhea, did you get a chance to see it? What were your thoughts on it? Did you hate it too?
No, I did not. I did not see Night Court, but only for one reason. I tried to I set aside. I did see. I can review 70s and 90s because I love the 70s show, and I did see it. I went to go on to it. I got home actually a little early today because Angela doesn't work on Wednesday, so there's no meetings.
Right.
And I got home, and it told me I had to pay for it. Which so I guess I didn't go on Peacock. I was getting it through Prime.
Sure.
And I refused to pay for it. So because I pay for everything.
You made the right move.
But I can talk if you want me. I love the 70s show. I was a massive fan of it. It was 70s was a little bit before my time, but I could relate to all those kids and the dynamics. I love them all. So I went on to watch the 90s show, and when they showed Kitty and Red, the parents, I love them. Red is like every parent, every father I ever grew up with. And Kitty was kind of like, I love them. So they had cameos by Donna and Eric, who are the parents of the daughter, and they're coming there. I'm going to give it another. I watched the first episode. I was intrigued. Now the 70s show broke all kinds of like things. Look at all the actors that came out of it.
Sure.
Phenomenal. Really, really good actors. So these kids that are in it now, the girl who plays the daughter, I liked her. I think she's got a real presence on camera.
She does.
So I will absolutely, and I think she's perfectly cast as kind of the goody two shoe. Is like, I want to trying to explore myself. I'm the mother of a teenager now, so I get that whole genre. So I did like it, and I was a massive fan of the 70s show. So I will watch another episode.
So what do
you think of them, Jay? What do you feel?
So I actually did not dislike Night Court, and I think it was just because of John Larroquette, a guy who is so much a part of my life. And you're right, he's not great in it because the writing isn't great, but he is still a good actor. And when he shows up, they're playing him kind of a sad sack. His life has been destroyed. There's mention of a wife. We don't know if she's dead or if she left him. He's not the Lothario that he was in the 80s, where he was just the ladies' man. But I think it was just the nostalgia hit. They built the sets exactly, and I don't know if they kept them.
Amazing. Yes.
For both shows,
for
both that 70s show and the Night Court. The nostalgia hit went right into my veins. And for both of them, I like Night Court a little bit better than I liked that 70s show or that 90s show. But if both of them, I'll tell you this, if they show up on my next cruise instead of another 6 reruns of Big Bang Theory, I'll be happy. Now, speaking of Markie Post, Angela, you mentioned Markie Post and her breast. Did you know that
she passed away?
Yeah, she did.
So did her breast.
Mr. Skin. If you know Mr. Skin, he was the website that cataloged everybody's nudity. He referred to Markie Post as his white whale, that he was the most requested nude scene with no nude scenes. Also, Angelo, in that 70 or that 90 show, the mother, Kitty, finds the son's stash of porn magazines from the 70s.
Yes.
And I thought of you because she looks at it and goes, all redheads. Man, that guy's got a type. And I was like, Angela.
You know where that stash is now?
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
I'd actually be interested if you are a listener of the show, or if you're watching this on YouTube, which we now are. I'd love to hear your opinion. So please put that in the comments or tweet at me, please. Now, moving on. There was a video I sent you guys. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, from a pop culture critic named Captain Midnight. Love this guy. If you get a chance to check out his YouTube stuff, he does a lot of stuff about sitcoms. A lot of overlap with what we do. And he brought up an interesting conversation that Charlie Day had about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That back in, I think it was 2009, which is late, they switched from a 4:3 to 16:9. Basically, the square switched to the rectangle and went to HD. And Charlie Day fought against that forever. And his whole point of view was that sitcoms were better when it was a square box with less attractive, video. That sitcoms were designed for small screens, and it works better in a small screen format. And I didn't know if you guys had a chance to see the video, and if you did, what your thoughts were on it. Rhea, did you get a chance to
I think I'm an expert because
You are.
I binged the entire 15 seasons.
Yes,
And
of
production.
It's Always Sunny, yeah.
And Charlie Day should stick to his all the slapstick he does. He's terrific at that role. He's a moron if he thinks people would rather see a blurry, not distinct picture like we get now. Is it art? Is he trying
That's what he's trying to do, Ange. It's art.
Yeah.
No,
It's
people
art.
want to watch a good screen. If I can get a beautiful screen on my little tiny iPhone, like I'm looking at you guys now, that's what I want to watch.
But Rhea, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is art? You're saying this is art? It's a bunch of goofballs in a bar acting badly.
Yes.
That's not art. How does that look better when it's blurred?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't think anyone, unless you are like Martin Scorsese and you are trying to get a certain cinematographic effect, it never is better if you could see it less well. How did that? Why do you think Rhea and I are wearing glasses today, Jay? We are offering our anger at the idea that it's bad. It's good to see blurry.
Yeah.
If I can just say from my own experience, I just got off a film shoot for a movie that doesn't have a release date yet, and the director kept coming up to me as the writer and producer and said, "So what do you think we should do here?" And I said, "It's a Lifetime movie. I don't care." Can
I get a job writing? Can I get a job writing for your Lifetime movies? Because I have like all these ideas, and you care so little. I want to do this for a living.
I would be happy to work with you, Rhea. We could do a script together. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
A job. I'm the one that's going to be unemployed.
Well, Angela, you could be our proofreader. Me and
there you go.
Send it over. You copy editing. I will say one thing that I did agree with in the Captain Midnight video, and yes, I do think you're right. The old sitcoms were not designed for the square box, the square for the rectangle. They were for the square. The new ones are, and I think it's fine. I do think it's wrong when like Netflix takes Seinfeld and blows it up to the full screen size when it was originally shot in the box. I want to see it how it was originally shot, how it was meant to see, because a lot of times that just looks bad when they focus in without any artistry to it. Yes, it's a sitcom, but I want to see how the director wanted to put it together, and that's what I want out of it. So I agree with half of it.
And just so you know, Ange, Jay did actually send me a script of one of his movies and asked me to read it. And I did give him a little insight on women. I said, no woman would get out of bed after sex in the middle of the night and drive somewhere to a company. So I said that doesn't fit. So I did offer my opinion.
You should be using Rhea for that stuff. This is the way I got through 30 years in radio. That's the right thing. She usually knows.
I asked my wife about that, and it was 5 years since she's been after sex. So she was like, I can't remember, what did we used to do after sex? I can't remember. So it's good. I need insight on stuff like All right, Rhea. Speaking of your insight, what have you got for us? People have been. I think I sent you an email. We got a request.
You did.
Sure.
You did. And I watched it. So I want to thank the person who sent it to you. Midsummer Murders. It is it's available on Prime, Acorn. It's 23 seasons. So I could not actually watch every one. It's one of the most popular murder mysteries in all of Britain. It's kind of like Law and Order here in the States, where it's been on forever. People love it. Stars kind of guest on it like early on in their career, and then you're going, oh my God, I remember I watched that person on an episode of Midsummer Murders. What's interesting about Midsummer Murders is every episode is a self-contained mystery. So it's not, one that goes a whole season doesn't go over the same murder. And it's in a wealthy villages around there. Everything what you expect British to be. Wealthy, snobby, absolutely gorgeous location. The gardens, the thatched cottages, the rolling hills. I would want to move there, except for the fact that people get murdered there relentlessly. But they get murdered in an inch. Here's what's cool about it. There's no serial murders in this. They've got some humor, a little darkness, but these are people who are head of the book club getting killed, the dance club there, the owner of a brewery, and they get killed. They're killed by normal people who get really pissed off at them and kill them with deviled eggs, a giant cheese wheel. Somebody smears truffle oil on a boar to lure someone in to kill someone. And it's always normal people. And I will say what is fun about it, you cannot figure out who the murderer is in the beginning of the show. They drop so many herrings. I'm like, oh, that guy's totally murdered. Totally. And I will say, I never know who the murderer is till the end. I've watched like 5 episodes of it. But I mean, if you really want to know what the British countryside looks like and why people love it and why I loved it when I lived there, you watch this show because the scenery is gorgeous. Like I said, 23 seasons. John Nettles was the first Detective Barnaby. He did it till 2011 and was replaced by John Dudgeon. And I like all the characters in it. Like I said, it's fun, it's breezy, and people get killed that are just like totally odd people. But I mean normal. So there's no serial murders, no nothing, and all self-contained episodes.
So it's sort of like a procedural, is what we would call it here in America.
It's a strict procedural, extremely well acted. The people in it are very good, and they're the people who get killed are usually wealthy snobs, so you're kind of okay with it. They're like, yeah, we didn't need that. Didn't need that guy. And there's 23 episodes. Here's the funny thing: one of the detectives, his wife, don't ever let her join your club, book club, cooking club, anything. When she joins a club, someone's going to get murdered in it. So just a little tip there for those of you who are watching.
I like it.
And send me your ideas. I love getting stuff to give me to watch. It's great.
Yeah, please put if you're watching this on YouTube, please put it in the comments, and if not, feel free to shoot me a tweet, and feel free to insult me in the tweet. That's okay. I'm in any.
You're not getting mine.
Yeah. And did you have a teen selection for us this week?
I do. Now, this was written by Clark, because I show that, we've been a little bit busy here. We've had the football playoffs. Clark had to study for an entrance exam to Roman, and it looks like that's where he's going, Roman Catholic. So he's been busy studying. Yay! So Angelo, you're wearing their colors, so it's very good. But so I asked him, I said, have you had a chance to watch something that you want to give me for the show? So he gave me Velma. And Angelo, this is what I know you will love about it. He completely trashed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he said, so he gave it a 1.3 out of 5 stars. It's on HBO Max. So I go 1.3. I don't know how you came up with that number,
It's
but
very
it's
precise.
very precise. It's a cartoon reimagining of, the Scooby-Doo character Velma. And it's like how she wound up eventually getting to Scooby-Doo. But here's what I've been watching Scooby-Doo since I was a child. Clark and I've watched it together. I always loved Scooby-Doo. There's no Scooby in it. How you could do a reimagining of, you know, a cartoon character that involves Scooby-Doo and he's not in it. So it's just Velma. She's, you know, solving crimes. He wrote in here, Fred is in it. Fred goes to jail and he's a total baby. He can't do anything by himself, so Clark doesn't like him. Shaggy is in it, but Shaggy doesn't go by Shaggy anymore.
Oh,
He would like to go by his real name, which is Norval.
Norval.
And he doesn't, he considers himself a foodie. He doesn't shove food in his mouth and he's trying to be a therapist. So Clark absolutely hated it because, like me, he loves Scooby-Doo. And he said, how could you do something, a reboot of something, and you don't include the best character?
unbelievable. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like Clark's got to be a regular part of this.
Yeah.
Like us, Rhea. He's
I know.
happy to rip stuff.
Exactly. I was very proud, I have to say.
Taking Scooby-Doo out of Scooby-Doo is like, you know, General Mills taking a look at Cap'n Crunch and going, you know what? Let's get rid of the marshmallows. I think
Yeah.
that's what's really upsetting the kids. Too much sweet, sugary goodness. Let's just make it regular cereal. You know what's most shocking about that, guys? The creator is Mindy Kaling, who we all love.
Really?
Yeah, Mindy Kaling, this was part of her overall deal that she signed with Warner Brothers. She conceived of this from the ground up and tried to make it she's voicing Velma. She's not writing the episodes, but she's the producer of the show. And
well, Jay, that's kind of her, you know, her thing is, you know, she's always played kind of like the nerdy girl, right? I mean, isn't that what so I get where she thought Velma would work for her, but not, you know, things are always better when you include the dog.
Right.
In anything you do. So yeah.
And some of the stuff that they're trying to do on the show that, you know, is not shocking, but maybe a little bit more adult. Like she's a lesbian in this show, but she was a lesbian in the previous incarnation. So like they when they drop that and they go, oh, like she's a lesbian, everybody's kind of like, yeah, no, we know.
Yeah.
We knew that in the 60s. You know?
Yes.
We didn't have the word for it, but we knew, hey, if we're gonna hit on one of them, probably Daphne is the way to go.
Don't ask, don't tell. That was kind of what we were trained on, right?
Right. So we knew that two things that we knew for sure. Scooby and Shaggy were high, and that Velma was a lesbian. Those are the only two things we knew growing up. We didn't know how to articulate it. We just knew. All right. So Velma, that's a 1.3 out of 5. I think Clark come on to explain his grading system, which
I'll have to get him to write it down.
And let's finish up with Angelo. Angelo, what do you got? What did you watch in the last week or two that we can chat about?
You should understand, Jay, that these are hectic times. Number one, we've got all the football going on in our crazed football city. And these are my final days of a 33-year tenure in radio. And yet I had time to see tons of television. I didn't realize how vacant my private life was until I realized I could recommend 8 or 10 things here since the last time we did this podcast.
Wow.
But I'll just give you a couple, and then I'll integrate the others into other shows we do. But and both of these have been panned by the people watching them. They're on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're both excellent. And I promise you, you will disagree with most of the people, even though both of them sound stupid. Number one is a documentary. It's a little over an hour. It's not long. Called The Hatchet-Wielding Hitchhiker. It's on Netflix. It is phenomenal.
Okay.
It's a modern story. It's about a guy named Kai. His actual name is Kai. And he apparently saves someone's life. And he becomes an internet sensation. And people have made him their hero. And he's the toast. There's only one problem. A is he's a psycho. And B is he's also dangerous.
Okay.
And he gets implicated in a major crime after his sensation hits. And the guy is so wacky and crazy. And they packed all this in real tight. They have all the video of when he was the hero on TV and all this, and then how everything crashed and burned.
Wow.
It's fantastic. And the whole thing was he became a hero because he happened to be carrying a hatchet and he saved someone's life with it. But
Well, you
he's
know,
and they made him into a hero. We deal with this all the time in sports where
Yeah.
even when the guy's really kind of a jerk, they make him a big hero. That's what this was, but with spectacularly negative consequences. You know, I'll tell you
you're very dark,
it's
Angelo.
not a happy ending at all.
I didn't expect it would be.
Here's the thing, it got a 91 by the critics
Wow.
and a 42 by the people who watched it. And I can't believe that because it's great. And
It's
if you're
almost-
looking for a movie, now here's the way I do movies now, and this is creepy, but I got to be honest. If I really start enjoying the work of an attractive woman, I tend to try to burn through her catalog. You know, and I don't even remember when I first saw Eva Green. She's
Oh, yeah.
multi. You know her?
Oh, do I
And
know her?
she speaks fluent French, and this is a multilingual movie called Proxima. It came out a couple of years ago. It's on Hulu now, and it's a woman. Again, I think you would love this. It's about a woman who was an astronaut. And
Okay.
got this little girl that she's got, you know, it's her daughter.
Yeah.
And her marriage is broken up, and she has all these demands on her time as an astronaut, and she sees her daughter slipping away. And it's
Oh,
a
okay.
relationship just before she goes up on a flight that's going to take her to Mars and be away from home a year.
Wow.
Phenomenal. No, it's so well done. And this Eva Green, can I be honest? She's not bad to look at for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's why I started watching it, Jay. But it's Proxima. Again, the critics didn't like it. The people didn't like it. The critics did.
Okay.
It's good. You will be entertained throughout.
I will definitely check that out. I don't know if you ever saw 2003, The Dreamers, which was the introduction of Ava
It was
Green.
in that,
Yeah,
right?
that was her introduction to the world. It's a French movie, and it's
Okay.
basically like it's her and two guys, and it's 90 minutes of who is she having sex with at some point during the movie. That's
Oh my God,
basically-
Angelo, we've lost him now. He's going to go
Hold
run
on.
and watch
Okay,
it.
it's almost done because I got a free afternoon.
It is nothing but
I'm gonna
sex
go
scenes.
there
Yeah.
right now. All right,
Yeah.
Jay, before we leave, let me go through what we've been talking about today.
Sure.
Night Court's on Peacock, 90s Show on Netflix, Midsummer Murders on Amazon Prime, Always Sunny if you want to, you know, see how it's when it was fuzzy and when it was clear. That's on Hulu. Velma's on HBO Max. Rip It Like Little Clark. Hatchet Wielding Hitchhikers on Netflix. Proxima on Hulu.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much. I'm so happy that we're back, and let's see each other next week.
You got it.
All right. Do you guys want to do the game show real
Sure.
quick?
Sure.
Just to put that in there.
Absolutely.
All right, so here is the way this works. I was looking at Cobra Kai, by the way. I don't think you're a Cobra Kai guy, right, Angelo? No, neither of you guys are. Well, it just got renewed for its 6th and final season. And I found, like, it was just one of those deals where if you had told me when this started, when it was a YouTube Red show, you remember when YouTube Red was making TV shows? It was a YouTube Red original. That it would last 6 seasons, I would have bet you my thumb that it wouldn't, but now I would be here. Thumb if that were the case. So I wanted to look through and find shows similar to this that you wouldn't have expected how long they were on. So I'm going to give you a show. I'll go back and forth between you two. I'm going to give you an over-under on how many seasons that it lasted. And I want to get, you have to just guess if it was over or under. All right, Rhea, we'll start with you. This is a show my wife loved. It starred one of the girls from The Big Love, with a bad haircut, and it was called Grimm on ABC. It was a fairy tale show. It was like, what if all the fairy tales were real? It was a network show. The over-under is 4.5 seasons. 4.5 seasons. Over under.
Under.
Under. Angela, you made a noise. Do you disagree with that?
It's under. It's a horrible premise.
6
Under one
seasons.
season.
6
No.
full
6.
seasons. 6.
Who do we complain to? Who can we write letters to? Come on, 6 seasons of that
That
garbage.
was terrible.
Yeah, well, my wife loved it. And here this will change your mind. The bad guy, Rumpelstiltskin. He's the bad guy
Well, of course that's
for all 6 seasons.
Oh,
All right, Angela,
Oh.
here's your choice. All right. Supernatural. It's a show on the WB. It's about 2 brothers that track down ghosts and stuff. That's the best I can do on the premise. Your over under is 17 seasons.
wow.
this sounds like a trap. First of all, I like to believe myself to be a TV historian, but only of actually good shows.
Yes.
So it's not likely I have seen. But if you're saying 17 seasons, you're probably baiting me. It's under. It's got to be under.
It is.
I am going to
under.
go over.
Oh, sorry, Rhea. I should have waited for you. Sorry.
Well, my brother is a massive fan of Ghost Adventures or whatever that show is. Like he watches it like all the time, and I know there's like 1 million seasons. So
This was under, but only by a little bit. 15 seasons on the
wow.
WB. It ran from
You were
2005
tricking me.
to 2020. This was a network show, and there's a great podcast called Blank Check Pod, and they talk about movies that never existed because like nobody talks about them, and I feel like a lot of the ones on this list are like that. All right, Rhea, your turn. This was just about
Okay.
a woman we were just talking about. We are all fans of hers. This was her first show after The Office. It was on Fox originally. The name of the show is The Mindy Project, starring Mindy Kaling. Your over
Okay.
under is 5.5 seasons.
I'm going to go under.
You,
I-
Angelo, did you?
I have something on this. That was picked. It was canceled, but then picked up by a streamer.
Hulu,
So I'm
you are
gonna
correct.
go over. I'm going to go over because of the streamer.
Angelo is correct. It lasted
Ah.
6 seasons, 4 on Fox, 2 on Hulu. It was one of the first original shows ever on Hulu when it shifted over to there. All right, Angelo, your turn.
TV historian, Jay.
Yeah, I've gotten everyone wrong.
We had talked in one of our episodes about that 90s show. This is a sitcom. It was the first live action sitcom in the history of Netflix. It's called The Ranch, and it stars Ashton Kutcher. And your over under, Angelo, is 5 seasons.
Ashton Kutcher. So this is after he did 2.5 Men, right?
This is
Yeah.
after 2.5 Men, it was the first ever live action sitcom. And for a while, it had on the guy from that 70s show, that Danny Masterson.
Danny Masterson, but he's got he's
been
in all
canceled.
he's rape allegations.
I've
It's
never-
real ugly.
Never gotten Ashton Kutcher. I understand he's extremely good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does he have,
That helps.
Rhea, does he have any discernible talent?
In the 70s show, he was perfectly cast.
Yeah.
I mean, just as the good looking kind of, Lothario. I don't really know. I love 2.5 Men. And when he replaced Charlie Sheen, I couldn't watch it. It did not work for
It
me at
was
all.
awful. You're right.
No, it was terrible. And I watched 2.5 Men religiously. Like every night I watched episodes
Me
while I was
too.
making dinner. And it didn't work for me.
Me either. I'm going to say though, because they probably had to guarantee him a certain number of seasons, and then Netflix seasons are very short.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
say over.
You-
Over for what is it called? The
The
Rancher.
Ranch.
The Ranch.
The Rancher.
Rhea, do you want to disagree with Angelo?
I'll go under.
It is over. The Ranch is 7 seasons,
Oh my God.
80 episodes.
Oh,
Name me
Jesus.
one
Never
person.
seen one.
One
No.
person, anybody in this world who has seen more than 5 episodes, I would give $1,000. How is it possible that this show is on the air? Impossible. All right.
Ah,
Speaking of good-looking guys, this is a show my wife will watch with the sound down just to stare at the guy because she finds him so attractive. It is a show about the devil, started on Fox, shifted to a streamer. It is called Lucifer, and the over-under
yes.
is 4 seasons for you on Lucifer.
I'm going over.
Angelo?
Lucifer. And who's the guy who plays Lucifer?
Let me look him up because my wife would be able to tell you his birthday and his favorite candy.
Yeah, I never watched it, but I always saw the promos for it, and he was very good looking.
Tom Ellis.
And all right, and what network is this on?
It was Fox originally, but Netflix picked it up.
All right. Well, if it goes to a streamer,
Exactly.
it'll be over. That's Ria's right. Ria's right. It's an over.
You are both correct. It is
Yes.
Lucifer 6 seasons.
Jeez.
It was 3 on Fox, got canceled. Last 3 on Netflix. It's actually not that bad a show. The only thing I disliked is that the best part of it was the soap opera part, and they tried to graft a procedural on it. Did not work. All right, Angelo, you have a Kiefer Sutherland TV show. Another show started on ABC, got picked up by Netflix. It is called Designated Survivor. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I've seen that.
Your
It was bad.
over-under is 5 seasons for Designated Survivor.
I watched the first season. He is a president and
Secretary of the
there's-
Interior. Yep, and it became
there's some rule in the world in the United States where if they're under assault, there's a certain member of the government who is designated to be the person that runs the country.
Yep.
And it ends up being Kiefer Sutherland. What was the over under? Did you say
5.
5? All right. I know he did at least 4. He did at least 4 on network. So it's got to be over. It's over. Although I got to tell you, halfway through the first season, it lost me. But I did watch the.
I was big into it, and then it was just.
I loved it. I loved it the first season, but it did eventually. And I thought the woman who played his wife in it was gorgeous.
Yes.
I mean, she was absolutely one of the most beautiful women that I don't see in a lot of stuff. But it kind of lost me after the first season as well. I'm going to go over just because it moved.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a rare example of an under. It did 2 seasons on BBC, went to Netflix, only 1 more season on Netflix.
Wow.
Before it was canceled. And you're talking Natasha McElhone for the wife, and you are absolutely right.
Beautiful.
She is.
Wait, she was in Californication, I think.
Yes, she was the ex-wife.
Oh, okay.
She was David Duchovny's girlfriend in Californication.
Yeah,
And she is spectacular.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
2 more, and I saved the hardest for the 2 more. Rhea, you get a science fiction show that was on Sci-Fi originally, and it was saved personally by the Amazon founder, Jeff Bezos, because he liked the show. Now, Angela, if you had this kind of money, I wonder what kind of, this might be a good premise for later on. He personally liked the show. He had Amazon Prime buy the show so that it could continue once it was canceled. And he just kept it on until he was done with it. So the over-under for you, Rhea, is 7 seasons for
Ooh.
Expanse. The name of the show is The Expanse.
Ooh.
Expanse.
Did it start? It started on, where did it start?
It went on Sci-Fi originally, and then
Gotcha.
Prime took it over after it's. Well, I won't tell you what season, so that.
Well, the sci-fi people are all really nerdy, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over because they would want to watch that kind of stuff over and over.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
it's
Angela?
Bezos.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Bezos had he has so much money.
Yeah.
It's got to be over.
It is actually under. It was 6 seasons for The Expanse.
Damn.
It was 3 on USA Sci-Fi, and then 3 more on Amazon Prime. I really want to do this premise. We're going to do this one of these days. I just would love to hear, Angelo, if you had infinite money, which shows you would just be like, yeah, no, that's coming back. I want 10 more episodes.
Yeah.
All right, final one. This is a show that another switch, another show that lasted much longer than you think, Angelo, but no one talks about, wasn't really a hit. A show that starred one of the biggest sitcom stars of all time, Tim Allen, in a show called Last Man Standing, which was on ABC originally and picked up by Fox. If you remember, it got canceled. And Tim Allen came out and said, you're canceling it because the world is too woke. And then Fox put it on for its final seasons.
Of course.
Last Man Standing, the over-under is 8.5 seasons.
Ooh.
First of all, I'd like to say no show that has been mentioned on this podcast would I spend a minute actually. They all sound horrible. That's gotta be under.
Rhea?
I have actually seen it, believe it or not, and it should be under. It's that bad. So
Guys,
I'm gonna go under.
Last Man Standing, a show about Tim Allen as a outdoorsman who hosts a podcast and is married and has 3 daughters and is the last real man, lasted 9 seasons.
Oh my God.
6 on ABC,
Oh my God.
3 on Fox. That is well over 150 episodes. Who's watching these shows?
Yep.
No one. Name
If
me
you're
anyone.
watching these shows, you cannot watch our podcast anymore. Sorry.
You're out. You're not allowed to see this. My
You're
God.
done. You're in.
Well, this was fun, guys. I appreciate you sticking around to do this, and we'll do. I have more games planned, so we'll do some more games later on.
Yay.
Whoa, hold on. Do we win anything?
You win the knowledge that you never had to watch these horrible shows.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Your
you.
life back.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll chat next week.
All right.
I
See
see
ya.
you. Take it easy, buddy.
Thanks. I'll give you an email about the Philly Voice when I hear from them.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
See you guys.